All right, I think we're about ready to go live here. It's just pushing to Zoom right now. Here we go. All right, I think we are live. Here we go. Welcome everybody to our Profit Amplifier Secrets Live. I'm your host, Melanie Benson. And we got our special guest, Adam Shively, in the house. He's got his
Hey, everybody.
hat on, which he'll explain in a minute. So if you're new to Amplifier Success community, welcome. So excited to have you here. Today, I have asked Adam if he would join us. And let me tell you, I am so grateful because I'm working with so many people in the Own Your Bold program and in the Awaken Leadership Mastermind on how to bring podcasts out that will help position them as an authority, how to use live shows, and how to actually even use social media to really stand out in the crowd. And so Adam has some really cool, we call them some ninja moves that he's doing on Instagram. And I was finding that a lot of people were kind of okay, so I don't get Instagram. How do I do the story thing? I get I should do posts, but now what? And then I was watching not necessarily you guys, but other people out there in the world putting out this great content, and people were commenting and crickets, no interaction, no engagement. And then I was watching what Adam was doing, where he was growing his following leaps and bounds. It was driving traffic to his podcast. He was doubling and tripling his listen numbers. I'm like, okay, you got to back up, tell me what you're doing. And then can I just beg, please, for you to come and teach my community how you're doing that too. So Adam was gracious enough to come in and join us today. So as you guys are listening in, do two things. Give a little shout out and put your hey, I'm here in the comments. I will do my best to catch all of them. I want to be really present to Adam, but I'm going to try and jump into Facebook and track those too. But the second thing is make sure you put your Instagram profile page, the link to it, if you have it, because we are going to do some pop-in Instagram audits today, and we need to see where you're at. Got to have a quick way to grab your link. So let me give a proper introduction to my friend Adam Shively, aka PhD, the previously heavy dude, which is such a great and awesome story. He's the host of the top-ranked fitness podcast, The Million Pound Mission, and his new podcast, Casting the Pod, which is for podcasters. He finally reached a point in his life where he was weighing 327 pounds and was having weight-related health issues in his late 20s. And that was his catalyst to overhaul his lifestyle and his fitness, and ended up losing over 100 pounds. Now, for those of you that are building a business around your expertise and some kind of personal breakthrough, you got to hear this next thing. Feeling inspired from his own breakthrough, he took what he learned in his transformation journey, created a boot camp that produced over 35,000 pounds of collective weight loss results in his hometown of Bloomington, Indiana. How cool is that? Talk about creating a movement. Now, Adam has his sights set on inspiring over 1 million pounds of healthy results through his podcast, his coaching programs, and the Million Pound Mission Bootcamp. Plus, he's turned his sights on podcasters. So if you're got a podcast, you're creating a podcast, you're definitely going to want to tune into this. He's got a new course, Instagram for podcasters, and a really cool Instagram audit, which we'll share with you guys in a little bit. So if you did not catch my Amplify Your Success podcast episode that we did together, Adam, can you maybe give everybody a little background on why you have become this Instagram ninja dude?
Well, Melanie, first off, thank you again for inviting me on. Getting to share a platform like this is always really exciting for me. And I'm very, very motivated to deliver action steps, tangible takeaways for your audience, because I feel like that's so important, because there's a lot of confusion around Instagram out there. And that's how I felt. All right. I know exactly how most people are feeling, because I was like, all these people, I knew my audience was going to Instagram. I saw it. I saw them flocking there. And I was like, I have to figure this out. And there was really nothing out there that was coming from a podcasting perspective, especially. I was just starting to figure out podcasting, let alone podcasting and Instagram. So I kind of just dug in, and the stuff I teach, people are like, I got to speak at Podfest on this topic, and everybody's like, I've never heard anything like this before. I'm like, because I made it all up myself. So I didn't learn this from any outside sources. I did a lot of testing. I did a lot of trial and error, a lot of error involved in that trial. But I've got basically 18 different tactics, the ninja moves that Melanie mentioned, that are working really well, that are helping me grow my Instagram, which that's cool. But really, as my Instagram grows, my podcast audience is directly correlated with that. When I have a PR download person, that's weightlifting speak, personal record download month, my Instagram is right in line with that. I'm able to monetize now, especially through my Instagram stories. I'm able to connect with my audience better and find, just figure out who I'm speaking to at a deeper level. And so we're increasing that connection, the opt-ins, the downloads, all that stuff happens. And it's really, really working well. So I realized that the Instagram was where my audience was going. So I figured out ways to connect with them on Instagram. And now I'm sharing that with you guys. So that's what we're here to do tonight.
Lucky us. So I just want to bring a couple of things home, because if somebody didn't catch the podcast episode, they might not know the significance of some of these things. First of all, if you have your own podcast, you have your own show of some kind, Adam, I know you know, like I know, one of the greatest challenges is, how do you get people to listen, right? Like, there's so many podcasts now. It's not like there's 10 that you can select on iTunes or Apple Podcasts now. There are so many things that so many people that are bringing these shows out. And I want you to bring your show out. But why is Instagram so helpful with getting people to pay attention to your show?
That's a great question. And what I've discovered is that on social media, podcasters, by and large, get kind of lazy with it, or they automate too much, or it's kind of this broad swath of promo where it's just the show image and here's what we talked about. And it's just very basic. So we're just show image, post, whatever. And everybody's doing that. But the error that I'm seeing most podcasters especially make is we don't give the people the reason why they should listen to that. Why should they click the link in your bio? Why should they swipe up? Why should they go to your website and download that episode? And that's where Instagram is kind of magical, because I call them the big four components of Instagram. There's the Instagram posts, Instagram TV, the Instagram lives, and the Instagram stories. And you can use those different areas of Instagram to give your potential listeners a reason why they should go to the link in your bio or listen to that episode. So it connects, that first step is so important, to connect the dots to, oh, now I'm motivated. Now I understand what the benefit that, how Adam is going to serve me with this episode. And that's kind of what I want to dive into tonight, is show you guys a few different ways that you can give people a reason why they should check out your episodes. So does that sound good to you, Melanie?
Yeah, I love it. And just for the sake of anybody who doesn't have a podcast, if you do have a podcast or you have a show, would you guys put the name in the comments? So as I'm looking back, and plus we could support each other, right? Like, guys, go listen to each other's podcasts. Yep. But this is a great way for us to kind of get a sense of who's got what going on. If you don't have a podcast or show, Adam, how else could you use some of the techniques? Like, are there other types of ways you've seen the benefits to using your little ninja moves?
Yeah, I mean, you can just take the word podcast and substitute business, product, free download. Just if you have people that you're trying to connect to, that's the point here. That, whether you're trying to sell something, build relationships. I use Instagram to find amazing guests for my podcast, which is a relationship builder. So if you're maybe looking to get a job or up level your career or network, things like that, you can use these tactics just the same, and just take out the word podcast or podcaster and put whatever your target is there that you're trying to connect with. And it's right across the board. It'll work.
Yeah. So I want to get into these great techniques. Let's start talking about the Fab Four of Instagram. Where do you want to start first? I'm going to hand the platform over to you here.
Well, let's start basic with just the Instagram post, because it's very similar to like Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts. It's a similar vibe. So that's a nice, safe place to start for people. And this is actually, if you are somebody that blogs, you can rock Instagram posts. I'm not a big blogger. I'm not a long writer of things. It's like pulling teeth for me to get to write that kind of content and then put all the emojis and all the stuff in there. I do it. But I think the key with the post is to ask that question. I call it the have you ever question. I'll get into how you can use this in Instagram story, especially. But I learned this from Brendan Burchard, one of my favorite online expert people. And the have you ever question, or did you ever, you ask that question that's going to be solved by your product, service, podcast episode. So I recently put out an episode about sugar addiction. So my have you ever question to lead off that post was, do you ever feel like you always give in to sugar cravings? And that's the immediate attention grabber. I stick some emojis pointing at it like this, or some big eyeballs or something like that. And then we go from there and let them know how we're going to solve that problem with this episode. So use that technique and don't just slap your show promo out there and then go, okay, it's super cool, check it out. So don't be lazy with that. Think about the conversation you're trying to start and the problem that you're trying to solve, and ask that question within the text of the post. So you always just want to give them a reason to tune in and not just promote the episode itself. So that's kind of the basic with the post, and also let people in to your life a little bit. If you guys follow my account, it's just Million Pound Mission. You'll see just, there are different things. With me, I'm trying to be somebody's coach from a weight loss perspective. I need to let them know that I'm walking the talk, that I'm living the journey. I'm a real person. I'm a dad. I'm a dadpreneur. So I put all that stuff. Some people are more branded and it's very nice looking and they have all like 12 pictures that make one bigger picture. I don't do that. I don't have time to do that. But that makes sense for maybe like a designer or somebody like that. So if you're somebody that's coaching people like me, I recommend, letting them take a peek into your life through your posts, and, if you're comfortable with it, I post my kids working out and things like that. And I get more reaction when I open up my life a little bit than anything else that I do, any show promo or whatever, but it lets people know, like, and trust you a little bit more. So try that out a little bit. If you're somebody, we all see the really fancy pages and really fancy posts and they've got 10 million followers, but maybe that's not you. Maybe that's not your brand. So if that's not working for you, you're spending a lot of time on it, especially, then try just opening it up and just being a little more you and put a little more you out there. I think that'll work with the post. So that's the first part, the Instagram post. Now, the second of the big four is the Instagram story. And this is where I feel like the opportunity is to really ramp up your downloads, your opt-ins, your monetization. And a lot of people don't use it at all, or have no idea what it is. So the Instagram story is really where I open up and let people all the way into my life. I'm taking, little snippets of me walking my dog or me podcasting, just what I did, kind of a day in the life of Adam a couple of days ago, where I just posted the time and what I was doing, little updates, and people follow that. And you can see who is checking it out, which that's super important with a technique that I've got. I mentioned the have you ever question. So this technique I'm about ready to give you will help you monetize. You'll get more opt-ins. You'll get more downloads. So take good notes on this. This is probably one of the better things I'm going to give you here this evening. So with your Instagram story, you use the have you ever question, but you put it in as a poll. All right. So there is an option when you post a story, you can post like GIFs and special text and things like that. But one of the options is a poll. So it can be a yes or no. So you ask the question, do you ever struggle with giving into sugar cravings? All right. And you say yes or no. And people will vote. People will click and be like, yes, I do. This is me. And then the next slide on your Instagram story is the solution of your episode, your product, your service, your free download. Oh, try my 7-day sugar detox. I did that. I had 400 people sign up. I was like, this is great. But through one poll, I did 2 posts. It took a total of 10 seconds. Do you ever give into sugar cravings? Yes or no? I had a bunch of people say yes. And then on the next slide, sign up for my 7-day sugar detox. 400 plus people did it in one day. That's awesome, right? Awesome results. I'm connecting to that audience. But we can go a step further, especially if you are trying to get people to opt into a webinar or maybe doing a free coaching call or something like that. I call it the next level DM, the next level direct message. And especially if you're a podcaster, this works really, really well because people recognize your voice. And in the world of bots and automation, people aren't used to us doing things that aren't scalable. All right. So what I do is, let's say somebody, my target is to get somebody onto a free challenge or a webinar about sugar addiction. And they answered yes. Yes, I do give into sugar cravings. You can see everybody that answered yes, and you can message every single one of those people. I will send them a voice message where I say their name, and it doesn't take as long as you think. All right. It's like 5 seconds each one. Hey, Melanie, I noticed that you answered yes. I'm here. I got your back. And I totally want to help you out. Make sure you check out the link in my bio. That's got the 7-day sugar detox challenge. Let's rock. Let me know if you have any questions. Boom. I just go next one, next one, next one. I always mention their name. They recognize my voice. And at a minimum, that will create a podcast super fan. When people are like, he said my name. This isn't a bot. I had somebody that accused me of being a bot the other day. I'm like, how am I going to? They're like, this is really impressive marketing. I'm like, no, that was me. That wasn't like, what do you think? I have like a robot voice with my voice. I said your name. She's like, yeah, that's why I was so impressed. I'm like, no, that was me doing that one at a time. So, whoa. And people sign up for my coaching because I take the time to mention their name and to send them a message. And it would take me way longer to send out a bunch of emails or to figure out how to automate all that. And it's, so that in itself, I call it the have you ever poll. You put up the yes, no question that asks the question that your thing will solve. The next slide is the thing that solves that. But then you follow back up with everybody that had a positive response that would need your solution. Send them a voice message via Instagram direct message, and you'll be blown away about the response with that. So that's something I want you all to try.
I love that so much. And I want to just say, from the coaching perspective, when you have a bigger ticket offer, so $500, $1,000 more, this is gold. Now, not necessarily if you want to sell books. Like, I don't know, Adam, like maybe one want to like bump this up over 500, right?
Yeah.
I want to take a second to give a shout out to some of our live listeners. Deb Coleman, she was saying she was loving the Have You Ever. Deb's doing a lot. Deb's going to be one of our Instagram mini audits tonight.
Good.
So Deb, I've got you all pulled up and we're ready to go. I want to give a shout out to Monica Dubé. I saw Jennifer Lyle and Morgan Oakes, Tanya Allen from Australia is tuning in. So you guys keep your comments coming. Make sure, if you haven't yet, post your Instagram page. This is how we, kind of like can connect with each other. And if we're going to do a spotlight on anybody else, I want to grab your profile and share your podcast. So, and of course, if you have any questions for Adam, please post them in the group as well. In the chat. So Adam, what do you think is the best way? Well, actually, let me start with this. I know that how many followers you have is kind of an interesting thing on Instagram, because you get a lot of extra valuable things you can do with your profile when you get to a certain level of followers. But for a lot of people, this is a total struggle, especially with all the gaming of like, I follow you, then I unfollow you, right? It's like such a weird game. Like, what's your little ninja trick on how to get the followers up so you can take advantage of some of those great resources and tools?
All right, I'm gonna show you how I got 300 followers in 15 minutes on Instagram. Ideal audience followers, do not, fake robot people. All right. So especially if you're a podcaster, if you're a blogger, if you're somebody that interviews people or trades information or, things like that, if you have access to other people that you interact with on a regular basis. So I'm a podcaster. I do Instagram lives, but I do Instagram live split screen follow-up interviews with all my guests. And the magic is the double algorithm effect. All right. So what happens on Instagram is when I go live, the algorithm starts notifying all my followers, hey, Adam goes live. And I go live a lot. So the more you go live, the more often you go live, the more people it notifies also. Same thing with Instagram stories. If you post a lot in your story, your little circle is towards the front edge of the people that follow you, so they check it more often. So bonus tip. But the algorithm's going, Adam's going live, Adam's going live. And so they're notifying my people. But then I pull in my guests, and it's all done within Instagram. You don't have to do any other outside apps. It's super easy. They join the live feed. They request to go split screen. Boom, we go split screen. Then their algorithm starts going, Melanie's going live. Melanie's going live. So the algorithm sees them as the original live. I mean, it's the same amount of promotion, both aiming towards this one live cast. And all they have to do for my guest, if her people want to follow me, they just click on my face, follow the account, easy, or vice versa. So I interviewed a nice young couple back here behind me, Matt and Mega from Keto for Normies. They have a giant podcast. It's like a top 10 health podcast, hundreds of thousands of downloads, rocking it. And they've got about 300,000 Instagram followers. So they've got a really large account, and they are hungry. It's like when they go live, it looks like the New York Stock Exchange ticker, just comments going, da, 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 it's crazy amount of questions. It was insane. And I did a podcast episode with them. I invited them on for a follow-up interview, and they said yes. We went live for 15 minutes, and their audience is ideal for me. Like, those are the people that I can really help. So in 15 minutes, I had 300 plus new followers of just prime real estate, ideal people that I can connect with, that I can help. And they followed my account just from doing that 15-minute live. And we had a record amount of downloads because all those same people are going and checking out the episode because they were impressed by the connection, the questions that I had. So just doing that, sharing other people's audiences, but more importantly, finding people that are ideal for you. So you find other people that, like, okay, their audience, I think I would jive with them really well. And notice, I did a double give there. I didn't ask for anything. I said, hey, I'm a fan of your show. I'd love to have you on my show first. We made friends. Then I said, I would love to do a follow-up interview, Instagram live. I do this with everybody. It allows my audience to connect with you and ask questions. Sure, let's do it. So that was another give. All right. And then after that was done, they invited me on their show, and now they're doing a whole membership, and they have me teaching inside their membership, and they have millions of members. So that's awesome. But it all was instigated through Instagram and just doing that double give technique of allowing them to share my platform. And then the algorithm just kind of helps us both out. And so that's how you get the ideal targeted followers. And the more you go live, the more, potential opportunities you have. If you're somebody that's interviewing 5 people a week, 3 people a week, even 1 person a week, you should be doing those live follow-ups every single interview, every chance you get, because those are potential followers for you, but also people that could be opting into your list, doing your freebies, potential customers. So that's the technique. And, a lot of podcasters, it's weird because a lot of podcasters are nervous about going live. I'm like, we do this all the time. We just yell into the microphone. It's the same thing. But it's not like the edit button isn't there. It's not as polished, but people like that, especially on Instagram. They like seeing, Adam at the end of the day, tired and like, I'm still cranking, and my hair is messed up, or I stumble on some words. But that's, authenticity is a big deal right now. So just stepping up, pushing the go live button, like Melanie and I are right now. Like, we're not editing this. This is real time, real action. So if my kids come running downstairs into the podcast bunker screaming naked, it's just going to happen. And you're going to love that for my authenticity. Right, Melanie?
I love it so much. Your kids are hilarious. I love that we're bringing up the whole authenticity thing, because I think a lot of people get kind of stymied by this, like, oh my God, like, what do I say? And how do I do that? And, it's like, what else do we have to talk about? We already did the interview. It's like, you just kind of jump on and go, all right, hey, what else do we want to talk about? Like, it's not all pre-scripted and everything. I didn't know what you were going to ask me when we jumped on. And, I just say, have the confidence to, what are the follow-up questions, or get curious about other parts of their life and, spotlight them as a human being. Right. And hey, if you don't have interviews on your show and it's just you, maybe you could invite some people who are subject matter experts in the topic you've been talking about. Hey, I did this episode on this. What's your thought? You want to go catch the rest of the episode? Go over here. There's so many ways. Don't let the box stop you.
Yeah, I've got a great idea that I've done a couple of times. I see a few people doing this, but I feel like more people should be doing this. So if you don't interview people, but you have an audience that you speak to, invite them, let them know, hey, we're going live. We're going to do a live Q&A. And that's one level. But I want to see people take it to the next level, because anybody that posts on it, if I'm live on Instagram, any that posts a comment, they can request to go split screen with me. So what I would challenge people to do, just level. I've done this a couple of times and people are like, this is awesome. I had to have a few planted clients to break the ice, because no one wants to go first. No one wants to hit that button first. Like, oh my God, I'm going live with Adam. But once you get the ball rolling, everybody's like, yeah, I want to go live. I want to go live. So I'm going live split screen with people that I've never met before. And they're asking, we're doing Q&A. So instead of just posting your question, like we do in Facebook, which is good, we're having a face-to-face conversation, and we're seeing each other. We're hearing each other. We can interact and connect, and just brings everything to a whole new level. And if you sell coaching services, this is money in the bank. You're doing a live, authentic, no edited, no BS session. People get to see you being you, coaching somebody. And the fact that, if you like that, then, this is the free stuff. Just imagine how good when you start paying, and the level of the coaching will be leveled up. So that's something that I would love to see people do a little bit more often.
That is totally ninja. I'm going to totally do that. I remember back in the Periscope days, that was like a big thing to do. So I love it. It's like we're kind of like just moving it over to Instagram. Yep. Okay. Before we get any more tips, I want to do our first Instagram mini audit.
Yes.
So Deb Coleman, you spoke up, you said yes. So you're going first. You don't have to do anything, but you're welcome to ask questions. And then Jennifer, I saw your question. We'll circle back to that in a minute. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, cool.
But you guys all go right now to Instagram, and you want to follow Deb Coleman Writing on Instagram. So let me share my screen. We'll bring up her profile. So here's the goal. Adam does these amazing Instagram audits, and Adam, maybe you can tell everyone how to get their own audit, and then we'll just take a quick peek at Deb's profile and give her a couple of cool ninja moves she could be making.
Yeah, so I've just got like a little survey that I put up. It'll take you about 15 seconds to fill out. But if you go to instagramforpodcasters.com, that will get you the free Instagram audit that'll allow you just to do a little checklist to see where our holes in the game are. All right. So yeah, let's scroll through Deb's stuff here. So now she is a content conversion strategist, copywriter, speaker. All right, cool. So, the posts, we've got a lot of live posts in there. I like that. A little bit of promo. You can see that her episode from your podcast. Excellent. We always like when people share that out. So I think, the Instagram posts look good. And I feel like that's something that it's basic motivational stuff. She's asking questions. I like that a lot.
Yeah, she does that a lot on her stories. So I know we can't go through all her stories right now, but she does a great job on the asking questions on stories.
Right. So the only thing that I would see is, like, right now, she doesn't have any Instagram stories live that I can click on. So I would always try, especially if you are somebody that's putting content out there or you're selling coaching, things like that, always have a live story, because you always want to be to the left side of that screen when the story bubbles pop up, so that people, especially this time of night, as people wind down for bed, they're going to start flipping through those stories. So you just have something. And even if you have a few kind of go-to images that you have saved, and you can put different text over it, things like that, I always want to make sure I have a live story. So, and when you look at your profile page, so this big circle picture of her, if she had a live story, that would be red, and you could click on it and you would be able to watch her current stories. Now, when you look at your own profile, it will have a blue plus sign over your picture. That means you can add a story. That means you don't have anything live. So that would be one of the main things I would say is let's put the post out there. I don't see any Instagram TV from what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, I don't think she's doing IGTV yet.
So that's something else that I would be doing. And Instagram TV, we can dive into that a little later on, but that will actually, it's another gateway to, it's just another bubble on your profile that somebody might click on. If people are coming over from YouTube, especially, and they're kind of converting from YouTube land to Instagram land, that's the first place they're going to go, is check out some of those short form videos. And if you're putting out content, then you can do little mini teaching segments with the Instagram TV. And the cool thing is that Instagram is really pushing Instagram TV right now. and you do an Instagram TV video, it pushes it in as a post also and double shares it, and you get some more eyeballs on it. So I would make sure we got a live or an Instagram story always live, and let's start doing some Instagram TV on like maybe one video a week, just some content strategy stuff.
I love it. I'm going to add a little audit point, Deb, for you. You have so many great tips. I would love to see you do a branded image with like, your kind of brand at the top tip, and then just a tiny tip that you rotate like through once or twice a week. That I love that you keep it so personal, but like you have so many great gifts. And I just think that it would be nice to have someone come to your Instagram page and go, oh, I see what she does. Right. Like, I don't know that anybody would get that when they come to your page.
Yeah.
So there's just an opportunity to like, juice it up a little bit in those ways. Thanks for the great audit points there, Adam. Jennifer Lyle, who's joining in, she has a question, and then we're going to get into a couple more training elements. Mindy was here. Hi, Mindy.
Hi, Mindy.
She was asking, is there an ideal amount of time to do the Instagram lives?
Yes. Okay. Good question. Now, as of this live that we're doing right now, this training, the max you can go live in one whack on Instagram is an hour. You start getting the countdown of death. And I've been there where it's like, you have 30 seconds and it starts counting down at the top of the screen. I'm like, all right, we got to wrap this up. So that's at this time. I hope I don't know. I think they should extend that a little bit. An hour is a little bit short for windy podcasters like myself. But what I have found is there's a couple strategies. All right. If I'm looking to pull in as many audience members as possible, what I've noticed is that every 15 minutes you get a surge where it starts telling more people. And that's just how the algorithm is acting now. And that could change tomorrow or the next second. But so try to go at least 15 minutes. So you get that, you'll start noticing, oh, someone else has joined and someone else has joined. And so make it go at least 15 minutes. That's going to be, kind of a benchmark for a live. If you're doing an interview, especially if you're doing a split screen, because then the algorithm gets a double boost, right? And so one of the techniques that I teach in my course is I call the Instagram mini summit, where I'll do back-to-back 15-minute interviews where I'm live the whole time. And then we do, let's see here. I lost my screen. So on Instagram, the mini summit, I will go back-to-back 15-minute interviews, and we're cranking them out one at a time, where I'm live the whole time, but I'm having my guest exit off. So I'm live for a full hour, and then their audience is pulled in each time I add somebody new. So that's a handy technique as well.
I love that. Okay, so let's start thinking out of the box, my friends. We do summits. We hear about them all the time. Many of you are like, oh, I don't want to do summit. They're so overdone. So what if you did an Instagram summit? Okay, exactly. So you could actually have 5 days or 2 weeks where every day at the same time you go live, you bring on 3 or 4 people back to back, like Adam was just saying. Now you've got like a series you're doing. Make sure you save it properly, though. This is the one little thing on Instagram stories. Like, I just biffed it yesterday and I was like, Adam, what do I do? I forgot to save the video properly, so I lost my Instagram story, my live. But you could totally use it. And, you can also make it populate to Facebook at the same time. Adam, can you please share your cool ninja move about how to tap all the social media platforms simultaneously and really harness that organic algorithm potential? Because I know people are like, well, should I go live on YouTube? Should I be on Facebook? Where am I supposed to be? Now I'm recreating the wheel. If I record it here and upload it, now I've lost the algorithm. You found a way to do this.
It's a workaround.
But you had a whole room of podcasters going, dude, that is so cool when you taught us to it.
So I own a gym and I have access to a lot of people. But I feel like anybody can pull this off. So I put up a Facebook post to my gym members. I said, hey, I've got this idea. If you have any old iPhones that you aren't using, that your kid has or whatever, or with the cracked screen, doesn't matter. if you'd let me have that, I'll give you some free membership stuff. So I had people bring in all these old iPhones, and I've got all these iPhones that I use for my live cast, and I have different stands like this where people. So what I do is I get my phones lined up and I put out a post every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. I'm going live, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'm going live everywhere. So what I found is that if you go live on Facebook and then share that live later into your Facebook group, you don't get that many views on it. But if you go live from within the Facebook group, you get way more views on it. But if I go live from my own personal page, I get a lot of interaction there. And I go live from my business page, I go live from YouTube, I go live from Instagram. Hopefully soon I'll be able to go live on LinkedIn. But I just go live on each device. So I have 2 computers, I've got 4 phones, so I can go live in 6 places all at the same time. And it looks a little weird sometimes. I have all the different angles going, but I try to kind of condense it as much as possible. So I'm speaking in one general direction. But that way you're native in each app or each social media platform. And that drives the algorithm harder than anything else than sharing them across platforms. So if you can, never trade in your old iPhones. That's my tip. Always keep them. And that way you can just go live on one more platform, because the computer part still works. You just can't make calls on it once you shut off the service. But the Instagram app still works. You can connect it to your Wi-Fi, obviously. So when I go live on Tuesday nights, I make sure that my kids are in bed. They're not on, like, no one else can use the internet because it won't work. Like in Indiana, our internet is run by a hamster on a wheel. They have to continuously feed. So I make sure that no one else is using my internet, but you can go live. I rarely have one of those platforms drop off from loss of Wi-Fi power. So that's how I get everybody everywhere all at once.
I love it. You're so funny. You have all these clever hacks. It's like you're the MacGyver of the podcasting world.
I don't learn the professional way to do it. I just kind of guerrilla style figure it out. And
hey, that was a very popular book, Guerrilla Marketing.
Guerrilla Marketing, exactly.
I know we have some more questions, and if I missed your question, I'm trying to keep up with the scroll, but not being annoying and have it like go live in my ear. So feel free to repost it if I missed it. I wanted to take a quick break, and I want you to tell everybody a little bit more about the Instagram for Podcasters training. And then we're going to come back and we're going to, Monica was saying, can we talk about how to use this for high-end coaching? So we'll be right back with that. But Adam, tell everybody, and I know you put something kind of sweet together for some of our listeners.
Yeah. So, I'm authentic, I'm open, I'm honest with my whole process. So I'll tell you guys exactly what we've got here. All right. The way I would like you to take this journey, the way I feel like it'll be the most helpful for you. I've already mentioned the first step, Instagramforpodcasters.com. Fill out that audit and I see that when somebody fills that out, it goes directly into my email inbox, so I can look at it in case we connect later. I can be like, okay, I saw the audit. Here's what we need to work on. All right. Then once you do that, you'll get an email from me, and keep your eyes out for that, where I'm going to give you a 4-part video series that goes through the big 4, the Instagram posts, the Instagram TV, the Instagram live, the Instagram stories. And I do over the shoulder follow along videos, because I know a lot of you are like, what in the world is Instagram TV? I've never heard of this, let alone know how to post a video on Instagram TV. So what I've done is just a follow along. Here is what you do step by step. You can pause it, do it on your screen, just match my screen. It's directly follow along. It's not just me doing like slides and stuff like that. It's live screen, me doing this. So step by step, and that should get a nice base built for you. And again, that's included, that's free. Then if you want to do the full course, the 18 module course, some of the things that I've mentioned, again, all over the shoulder, follow along videos. So just step by step by step. I've had people that have never been on Instagram before do this. And that was my true test, Melanie. I was like, I wanted to build this so that somebody has no idea what Instagram is. They don't even have an account, but they know they need to be there. If they can follow along and do this and have success, then we're good to go. So I've seen that with my launch group, with my test group. And so the full 18 module course is great for anybody, whether you have Instagram experience or not, but you want to connect with an Instagram audience. And that normally is a $997 course. So almost $1,000 course. If you guys want to do that, you can use the promo code AMPLIFY in all capitals, AMPLIFY, just like Melanie's amazing podcast. and you get $500 off. So you get 50% off, $500 off the price. And I feel like that's a heck of a good deal. But I wanted to make it a little bit sweeter because you guys probably don't know this. Melanie has helped me a ton with my business. Her coaching is just elite level. I paid her to be my coach. It wasn't like, hey, do a favor for me because we're friends. I was willing to put my money down because I know the value that she delivers is 10x that value. So I want to do something special for this group tonight. I've never done this before, but I just thought, like, let's do this. So the first 3 people that use her code of Amplify, I'm going to do a free bonus 15-minute Instagram audit where we're going to dig into your account and really spice it up. And that way I can get hands-on and show you directly what I would do with your account and how to switch things up to get more downloads, more opt-ins, make more sales, and connect better with your audience. So Instagram for podcasters.com, start with the audit, get the 4-part free course. If you want to jump into the 18-module course and be one of the first 3 to use Amplify and save $500 and get a free session with me.
I love it. Thanks for doing that. Like you gave me so many great insights on my my audit, or when we talked about Instagram, and you're just doing like kind of an organic one. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good stuff. So it's valuable. And I got to say, I've been learning some of the tricks that he's doing, and I've been kind of peeked in there and looked at the course. I was like, this is really good stuff. So if you guys are thinking about doing this with Adam, it is highly valuable. And I want you to think about it like this. First of all, if you're going to do a podcast, if you're going to do a show, and you're going to get out there in the world, I want you to challenge your limits, like challenge yourself to get more listens. Don't take the passive path of like, oh, I'll just throw it out and whoever listens. Like, I want you to really be intentional about growing your listeners. And this Instagram strategy is one of the best and easiest ways I found to do it without spending a dime. Like, you're not spending a dime on these strategies. So it's really good. Do we have time to do one more audit after?
Yeah, for sure.
So does anybody else want to put their name in the hat for the audit? I have another client who asked for one, but I don't know if she's on. I don't know if I know her page right off the bat. But if one of you guys wants a spot, put it in the comments real quick, what your Instagram page URL is, and I'll go pull it up. Adam. It was Monica was asking, like, how can we use these tools on Instagram, all the stuff that you teach in your training, to help us build some of our high-end coaching programs?
So when I think of high-end coaching, you mentioned a little bit earlier, like, it's leveling up the connection experience, right? So you want to fish for those people that want to connect. So one of the ways that, Melanie's helping me build my high-end coaching experience, which I'm sure that you guys are all getting your tips and insights on that topic as well. So the way I'm doing this is by going live every week or every chance, multiple times per week, I'm showing off my expertise and I'm putting it out there. It's like Gary Vee says, like, give all your best stuff away, and people will still pay for the level up experience of you going through it with them, with your course or as a coach or whatever. So, just showing off your expertise and your energy and your connectedness by doing the live casting, that's going to level up the value of all the stuff that you put out there for sale, right? Because I want your audience to go, dang, if that's the free stuff, what is the paid stuff like? That's going to be amazing. And I have people that make that comment like, I thought that just the live cast was good. And sometimes people, Melanie, they're nervous about that. Like, I don't want to give away my best stuff. Like, I'm giving you guys my best stuff tonight. Like, that have you ever poll thing, that's money in the bank. All right. That's one of the best tips I could possibly give you. The Instagram lives, the follow-up interviews, one of the best tips I could possibly give you. I'm just giving that to you to show you value. And that levels me up, hopefully. If you guys are like, dang, this is really good. I want some more of that. So that's one of the techniques I would use for high-level coaching, but also on the Instagram stories, using that to create a conversation. Sometimes I'll do multiple polls in a row and I'm pre-qualifying people. All right. So I'll ask them several questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the people that say the right things on all the polls, those are the ones that I'm going to DM and be like, listen, I noticed that you answered every single question that I had. I've got this new thing that I'm cooking up that I think would be ideal for you. I'd love to hop on a phone call and let's chat it out. I'm going to do a launch group, or I'm going to do a beta test group. I think you'd be ideal for that. And you're not putting that out there on your post because you want authentic answers, but you can use that to sort and sift and find the people. I mean, imagine somebody, a lot of you have surveys that you put out there. Just do the same thing with your Instagram story. Pre-qualify the people, and whoever comes through that back end of that little mini funnel with your Instagram story, get in touch with them, puts your hand out there, be like, I've got your back. So I've got something that I think will solve these issues that you're dealing with. Let's hop on a Zoom chat. Let's do a Skype chat, or just check out this link if you're gonna go directly for the sale. But I would start doing that, every single week, if not multiple times per week. And people aren't seeing that as being salesy, right? That's the nice thing is Melanie, I think Melanie's going to whack me over the head with a frying pan if I talk about being afraid to sell things anymore. She's like, you're not, don't be like that. And I know she's going to get me, but I feel good about that because I'm just giving people opportunities to interact and opt into a conversation multiple times. And then I reach out to offer more help and connect live. That's not salesy at all. And that just builds your rep with your audience. So those are a couple of ways that I would use to connect with, especially with high level coaching. Yeah,
those are great tips. I've got a taker on our last audit. So I'm going to bring up Jennifer Lyle in a minute. So y'all want to go follow her on Instagram, livehealthywithjenniferlyle.com. I'll say it out loud again. I probably just butchered that. But before I do that, I just want to ask a follow-up question, and then I'm going to bring her up while you answer it. Adam, I'm wondering what you think about using stories to either interview clients or do some kind of Q&A on a program that you might be launching. So have you ever thought about using that double algorithm thing to spotlight a few client breakthroughs? I know I do case study, I'll share breakthroughs, testimonials that people give me on images, but I never thought about till just this minute doing it the other way.
Yeah. I mean, I would be doing stories with testimonials for sure. But also Instagram lives, like that live Q&A or live, with me, I do weight loss programs with my Million Pound Mission podcast. I can have people come on, tell their story, but also give tips live. And it's super, super doable, super, super easy. And those lives stay around for 24 hours. You're working the double algorithm. That makes a heck of a lot of sense. And I do that with my podcast where I bring people that are members of my coaching program that are paid members, and I interview them every Friday and put that out as an episode. You can do the exact same thing.
Oh, what a great idea.
Yeah. And that it sells the program, which people like, oh, that's what he does. And, and that's how he's helping people. And I need help like that too. So it's a no brainer, but yeah, interviewing people that you're already working with and just showing people how you interact when you're interacting and coaching on that level. It's super easy and you're already doing it. So, maybe you already do a hot seat session with one of your members every month. Just do it on Instagram live or maybe do a bonus one. Maybe you only do one and you do a bonus one. Like, I know we're going live on the internet together and it's kind of weird for some people, but you'll get a bonus one for free if we can go live together. So something like that, incentivize people. It's built-in advertising and it's not salesy.
Love it. Oh my God, look who's going to get some bonus points right now. Look who put the link to her podcast episode with me in her Instagram profile. Jennifer, that's so cool. That was very creative. Okay, so do your magic, Adam. What's the biggest audit opportunity on Instagram for Jennifer?
All right, I'm not seeing it for some reason.
By the way, can you see it up on the screen here?
I can't see it on your screen. What's her account? I've got
LIV Healthy by Jennifer Lyle, LYALL. I think if you just search.
I got it.
Got it? Okay.
I got it. All right, cool.
And I don't know if you remember meeting her. She was in Florida. So
okay.
There. Yeah. She looking familiar now?
Yes, totally. All right, cool. All right. So I love the post with quotes, letting people in on just inspiration. She's got great images, like a lot of color. I like that. We have pictures of her doing things that she does. I like that a lot. I see
Yeah.
a video. The nice thing, that you can see the top of her screen there, that middle image, you can see the little white video camera. People are drawn to that. More people will click when they see that. And one of the tips that I give people is that you make sure that that little white camera is visible. So when you are filming something, make sure it's not an all white background, because then people can't see that little camera. They don't know that it's a video. Or if you have multiple images, they can't see that little multiple image thing that pops up. So make sure it's nice that you can see that image there. So let's see here. Intuitive business mentor, nature lover, make business decisions confidently, maximize energy, live life authentically. So with the profile itself, especially if you are looking to, coach, to help people, I would probably add a little bit more about at least one line of how you help people or how you have helped people. So like on my big attention grabber on my profile is I helped my hometown lose 35,000 pounds. People are like, okay, he helped some, that's an impressive thing. So how do you help people? What have you done for people? Things like that. Just one little line I think would be nice there to pull people in. Let's
Maybe
see.
something like helping millions save time, to grow their business, something like that.
Yeah. Just how you help, kind of just the thing you're known for as a professional. You're gonna put that in there. Now again, I don't have a live Instagram story. I'm not seeing Instagram TV. I do see she's got some highlights, which that's good. People are using highlights now, and she's got nice images there. So we've got interviews, which it looks like she's highlighting podcasts that she's been on. I like that a lot, especially as a podcaster. So those circles in the middle, you can click on those, and she's got praise. So I'm assuming that's going to be testimonials. Very nice. I like that a lot. So that's a really good use of those and those are highlights from your Instagram story. So, I think we could get a few more of those, but I love the testimonial idea. I'm going to steal that from you there. That's really good for one of the highlights. But no, I think overall, just a few little tweaks. And then, I'd love to see I'd love to see that pink circle with the live right next to it. So, anybody that has something to teach, I'd like to see you going live once a week. And that only stays up for 24 hours. So maybe you do that. It just hasn't been the last 24 hours, but let's get some Instagram stories going. You've got great images. I can tell there's a lot of energy on your page. Put some of that into your Instagram stories. Just look at the camera and just breathe some fire into it, or tell a funny story. Or like with me, Melanie knows this. I'm like always filming my kids doing weird stuff that it's just like, it pulls people in. And even Melanie said earlier, she's like, your kids are so funny. She's never met my kids. She's only seen them on my Instagram story. So it's just part of the deal that we are, just letting our lives out there a little bit. So I think you got a great start to your page here, and a few of these little tweaks, you'll be rocking and rolling.
Great. Well, I see a lot of people were starting to go, me, please. Okay. I know everybody wants a live audit. I'm so sorry we can't get to all of them. Remember though, you can go through Adam's audit process. It's totally free. There's, you don't have to do anything except for just ask yourself the questions. And that's instagramforpodcasters.com, right, Adam? Did I get that right?
Yep. Instagramforpodcasters.com.
And if you decide to go further and you want to take advantage of his Instagram for Podcasters training, again, replace podcaster with whatever you do. Build your list, send people to your freebie, fill your program, whatever that thing is that you want to do. Remember, the first 3 people, Adam is going to do one of these privately with you and go through your Instagram profile and give you some hot tips on how you can really kind of bump things up a little bit. And then Adam, again, did I get all your guys' questions? Is there anything else you want me to ask Adam before we wrap up? I have one more question for Adam, but before I do that, can you give us a taste of maybe like 3 or 4 things that we haven't talked about that someone would learn if they take your Instagram course and use the special code to save the $500?
Yeah, I talk, I feel like there's a lot of social media courses out there that really focus on like how to set up your profile and how to do a post and things like that. And I want people to know that I do that, but most of it is just the rogue stuff, like the strange, like the having 7 iPhones going at once, like just kind of out of the box thinking. That's what I specialize in. But I do cover the basics. So I feel like that's important too. So to put out there, how to set up your profile, what to do with that link in your profile. And I'm going to start adding some new stuff. And anytime I update the course, everybody gets it. So whether you just bought it or you've had it for a while. But I just crossed 10,000 followers, which allows me, as your account grows, Instagram gives you more options. So after you cross 10,000 followers, you get the swipe up feature in your Instagram story, which allows you to put a direct link where people can swipe up on your picture and it goes directly to that episode. So you don't have to go click the link in my bio. So the days of clicking the link in my bio are over in my Instagram stories, which I had a little party about that. It makes things much easier. So I'm going to add some things for people that cross 10K because I want to get people. That's part of the Instagram audit. I ask you how many followers, where you're at. And one of my goals is to push people over that 10K mark so you can get that direct swipe up link. It's awesome. I've seen a big boost in my download since I've been able to directly link from my Instagram story to my episodes. But things like, let's see, the Instagram mini summit. I've got a technique also. We've talked about the big four, the post, the Instagram TV, the stories, the live. I've got a technique called the Instagram content vortex. And you will spend 15 minutes doing one thing, and I'll show you how to get it to go out across all four of the platforms within 5 minutes. So that's handy. It's a nice time saver, and it exposes, sometimes people only flip through the post. Sometimes they only go through the story. So we want to hit them from all different angles so that we know that we have the best shot of connecting that message to the right person. So and I have different techniques. A lot of people ask me about just daily strategies to connect with people. How much time should I be spending on these strategies? I've got all that dialed in. I've got a 10-minute a day strategy to connect with people. If you're a podcaster looking to get on more shows, I've got a technique that I teach on that, how to connect with and bring, people that you look up to via Instagram, direct messaging. I've got techniques for that. I've got all my scripts that I use when I invite people on my show, or what I use on Instagram when I talk to people to connect from a business perspective. So all the scripts, all the downloads, it's all there. It's all follow along, and it's all high energy because that's the only way I roll.
Yeah, it's so good. High energy. It's all ninja moves, right?
Indeed.
Well, I want to thank you so much for going a little bit deeper tonight, and you really over delivered as usual. I love the Instagram audits. I hope you guys will jump in and get your own Instagram audit. I think, in these situations where I bring in other experts to share their knowledge with you as my community, I want to boil it down to let's bring it back to what do you take action on next? Because I know sometimes there's a lot of things to do. Adam gave you a challenge. I want you to pick one thing, put it into action. And I want you guys to go follow Adam at Million Pound Mission and let him know when you do it. Make his day so he knows you're working the process, and tell him you did it. And, or you can also comment here, and because Adam will be following along in the comments here as well. He's one of the members of our group. But just pick one thing. Just go try one thing. If you want to do all four platforms, awesome. But don't try and do them all at once. Just add one at a time. I'm not even doing IGTV yet, but it is on the horizon. We are working on a strategy to repopulate our videos over there. So Adam, any last word before we wrap up? I know we've gone way over what I thought we would do, but you have just freaking been awesome.
And I talk fast too. People tell me I talk too fast. So we really crammed in the information. I tried to cram in 2 hours of information into a 1 hour bag tonight is what we attempted. It's like listening to your favorite podcast on 2X is what it's like when you hear me talk. But no, implementation is the key. Just like Melanie said, the person that's inspired, the person that, has all these ideas, that's good. That's the start, but you have to implement. So I love the technique of the implementation alarm. Set an alarm on your phone. So at East Coast time, it's 8:30 right now. So 24 hours from now, I want you to set an alarm that will go off, and you have to take action on something. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to set up all your Instagram account or figure everything out, but just do one thing, that flick over that first domino in the next 24 hours and let the momentum build from there. And like Melanie said, I'll be inside the group. I'd be glad to answer questions. Just tag me, and I'm traveling to Austin, Texas tomorrow, but in the next, 48 hours, I should be able to get to most of the questions and knock them out for you. So I appreciate being here with you all.
And Jennifer Lyle saying, I'm going to go do my first Instagram live. Way to go, Jennifer. I love
Yes.
it.
Just hit that live button and everything will flow
That's
from
right.
there. Yep.
That's right. As we wrap up, thanks so much for joining in tonight, guys. Be sure to share your wins and your takeaways in the comments. If you want to share this great training with any of your friends and followers, just send them to amplifyyoursuccesscommunity.com. And then, we'll do the rest from there. So thanks so much for being here. I'll be back again soon with some more pop-up profit amplifier trainings. Adam, thanks again, my friend. We'll be talking soon.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.